I'm going to stand and take a deep breath, as our tip of the day was suggesting. My fellow Toastmasters, I want you to imagine you're playing a game of musical chairs. There are 50 chairs and 100 contestants. There's only one round, one chance to get it right. You've bet yourself a rather large sum of money on your chances of winning this game. And if you do win, you'll have the chance to achieve a lifelong aspiration. Not a bad deal for a game that we've all been playing since childhood. Your contenders are equally adept at chair sitting, and in some cases, they've had their entrance fees waived. In others, they've had generations of musical chair champions in their family helping them and guiding them through this process. This game was not designed to be fair. As the music fades away, you move in for your victory, but you land at precisely the same moment as another. You will be judged, however, and at times the measure between you and someone else is impossibly small. Will you be left standing when the music stops? You can stop imagining now, because I can tell you the real story. My story. In 2015, just weeks from graduation, I lost that game. But to me, this was anything but child's play. The chairs represented a highly coveted spot in a national dietetic internship program. The contestants, some 5,000 or more hopeful and aspiring dietetic students across the country, and the prize, the only viable path towards a career as a registered dietitian. In 4 years, I had accomplished a lot. Not only was I the first in my family to go to college, but I had won scholarships and become a leader and graduated with an almost perfect GPA. But I did not feel accomplished by any of those measures. There I was, 22 years old. I was moving back in with my parents with a massive student loan debt and no job. I felt like a failure. But I was not a failure. Both then and now, a better word to describe me is resilient. But if resilience defines me, what defines resilience? You can think of resilience like a rubber band. Actually, in physics, resilience is defined as the ability of an elastic substance such as rubber you can think of a better metaphor for human experience than something that springs and flexes and stretches and sometimes breaks. I finally found that internship, and in 2 years, I had gotten through it and passed my exams, and I was finally a dietitian. I thought to myself, I guess I can relax now, but I was wrong. It wasn't too long from then that life propelled me forward into yet another experience where the image of animal tissue absorbing a blow seemed like a very fitting image. 6 months later, I was working as a bank teller at Bank of America, and I saw this as a new evidence of my failure. But I was being hard on myself. This was the first time in my life that the objectives were not clearly set out for me. There was no graduation to get to or internship to complete. I had to learn to be flexible and stretch a little bit. I was not comfortable with this stretching, but I trusted the process, stayed the course, and took a few risks. And after a short amount of time, I found myself in my first job as a dietitian. In that first year, I was doing great. I was building skills and feeling confident in myself, and I was able to stretch without breaking. That is until a situation arose that was beyond my control and I was fired. I'm here now at Toastmasters for one simple reason, because I had to. When I lost my job, I felt like I lost myself. I didn't feel at that point that it was even worthwhile to try to reclaim a broken rubber band. I was saved by the realization that while I would never return to my original form, I was not broken. The stretching itself changed me and required that I move forward with a new purpose. I thought, what if I could learn to be a better communicator and a better listener? And most importantly, what if I could become a part of a community that would support me in my growth? At 27, I probably still have a lot to learn about resilience. In fact, sometimes I wonder if any of my problems or hardships rise above the bar of first world problems. But I'll leave you with some insight with someone who I do consider to be an expert on the topic of resilience. You may know her. Brene Brown is a researcher, professor, and self-described storyteller. She reflects in her book, Rising Strong, about the elements of resilience and vulnerability. She says, if we are brave enough, often enough, we will fall. This is the physics of vulnerability. But when we rise after a fall, this teaches us the most about who we are and about wholeheartedness or courage in our lives. I hope that through my story, you can recognize resilience in your own life. And as we all move forward through these uncertain times, may we practice wholeheartedness and courage, knowing that what stretches you and even what you think breaks you will always make you stronger. Thank you.